what's up everyone? Best and West here, and before we get into these practice battles with Zayzilla, I want to make a quick request for anyone watching out there that's going to be attending Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago this year. I am looking for an Uxie. An Uxie is one of the lake trio that's regional to Europe and I think Africa and the Middle East. So if you are able to trade with me during Pokemon Go Fest, I would appreciate it a lot. I have Azelf, I have some Community Day Legacy Move Pokemon. I have whatever I have that's up for trade. I have some shinies. Like, it's yours if you can give me a Uxie. I'd most likely want to trade an Azelf, but if you can hook me up with the Uxie, I won't complain. Anyways, hit me up on Twitter or leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hopefully we can set up a trade. But anyways, let's get to these Nightmare Cup battles. I am battling against my good friend Zayzilla, and pretty much we're just messing around with different Pokemon, just testing out new Pokemon, trying to figure out what's viable, what's not. I haven't really been focusing too much on Nightmare because we have regionals this coming Saturday, and I will have a video up for you guys. Hopefully I do really well and you guys will see how I do very well. If not, you guys can learn from my mistakes and hopefully you do well in your own tournament. But without further ado, let's get to the battles. Alright, starting off with this first battle, I'm going to lead off with Toxicroak. He's going to lead off with Bronzong. This is a terrible matchup for me, even though Bronzong is weak against ground. That confusion is just get hit Toxicroak for a double super effective damage, so I need to get out of there as soon as possible. I bring in my Drapion, which has a Crunch, and it's running Infestation, which also hits Psychic for super effective damage. So get this Crunch off, he's going to block that. He switches out into his own Toxicroak. Now this is, I still don't have a great feeling for this, but these Aqua Tails are going to be dealing neutral damage to Toxicroak. And Toxicroak is already kind of squishy. I built up some energy against that Bronzong. So as you can see, we have almost the same amount of health here. He's going to go ahead and use Mud Bomb, and I'm pretty much dead already, so this is a good, that's fortunate for me. Now I'm debating what Pokemon I should bring out. I bring out my own Toxicroak. He's going to get this Mud Bomb off on me, and I'm going to block it because I have a lot of health. I knock his Toxicroak out with my counter, and he brings out Bronzong again. But I switch into my Hypno. So this is a pretty bad, it's a neutral matchup, but he brings out Alolan Raticate. This is a bad matchup for me. I'm also out of shields, so this Crunch does a lot of damage. I'm gonna get this Shadow Ball off. He's probably thinking it's Focus Blast, so luckily for me, he does shield that. He's gonna go ahead and knock out my Hypno. Now, all I have is Toxicroak, which deals double super effective, but he has Hyper Fang and knocks out my Toxicroak. GG. Moving on to the second battle, I'm going to lead off with the Skuntank. He leads off with Alolan Raichu. This is a positive matchup for me, mainly just because I have Crunch, right? Crunch will deal super effective damage against Raichu, and Poison Sting also deals neutral damage against Raichu. And Raichu is going to deal neutral damage back to me. So the Crunch will deal super effective. He has to block that. I didn't block his Thunder Punch, which he gets to first. So this next move, I decide to shield right here, because if I can get a Crunch off, which I do right here, it's going to knock out his Raichu. And he decides to block both of them. So he's gambling on the fact that his other two Pokemon can take out my two Pokemon. So let's see what happens. He sends out Hitmonchan and knocks out my my Skuntank right away, and I bring out Hypno. So he's gonna switch out into his own Hypno, and I switch into Poliwrath. This is, I preempted that way too fast. That's something I need to work on before Nightmare Cup actually happens. And I feel like going to the mirror isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I think I'll probably end up doing that a few times in my own tournament. But anyways, going back Hypno to Hypno, He's gonna use Psy Shock. I blocked it, not knowing what moves it had. So this Psy Shock is not gonna do much damage to me. I do have Shadow Ball, and that's gonna knock out his Hypno. But at this point, I'm just gonna try to farm up as much energy as possible, because I know whatever his other Pokemon, I need to knock it out fast. If it's a dark Pokemon, hopefully I can get to that Focus Blast. Nope, I forgot, it's a Hitmonchan, and I should be able to knock it out with Confusions, but I don't have much health left. I have to use a Shadow Ball, and knocks out his Hitmonchan. So that second game goes to me. Now for this third battle, I lead off with Umbreon, Alolan Raichu. Positive matchup for me. He's going to be dealing neutral damage to me, but I'm dealing super effective damage. He switches into Toxicroak, I switch into Slowbro. Confusion user will knock out Toxicroak so fast. Knocks out Toxicroak. I have some energy built up, so he sends out Alolan Raichu. I should have used Water Pulse, because then it would get Stab at least, but I go ahead and use Ice Beam, and look at how much damage that did still. So he's gonna go ahead and use Thunder Punch right here and knock out my Slowbro. I let that happen. I go ahead and send out my Spiritomb. He gets another charge move off, a Thunder Punch. I want to preserve my Spiritomb if I can. He sends out Alolan Raticate, and this is a bad matchup. But watch what happens. I'm not sure if it's this one or the next one. It might be the next one, but pretty much what happens is I believe I trigger the boost. And that's going to be big in this cup. It's the big luck factor, a 1 in 10 chance of triggering that boost. And pretty much that boost makes this a even matchup. Without that boost, I would have lost this very, very fast. But getting this Shadow Ball and being able to hit those sucker punches against Alolan Raticate and get this other ominous win really deals a big blow to this Alolan Raichu and knocks him out. GG. So without that ominous win boost, I don't think I would have won that. Not even close. But next battle, I send out Hitmonchan against Alolan Raichu. Again, Alolan Raichu isn't dealing super effective damage to me, but I'm dealing not very effective damage to it. And I send out Xatu. So this is a terrible switch in. And the reason why I do that is because I need to get Ominous Wind off. And because it deals super effective damage to it. But I also forgot that my Air Slashes are dealing not very effective damage to Raichu. So I burned through both shields to try and knock out his Raichu. And that's something you have to take into account. He also burned 2 shields though, and he knocks out my Xatu. That Alolan Raichu can kind of run through teams if you aren't prepared to deal with him. So he's going to get this Wild Charge off and deal a lot of damage to my Spiritomb. I knock it out with fast attacks, and I'm about 3/4 into my Ominous Wind. He sends out Alolan Raticate, and this is going to beat my Spiritomb pretty easily. I send out Hitmonchan and deal a power-up punch and knock out that Alolan Raticate. He sends out Toxicroak and knocks out my Hitmonchan pretty easily. I have Spiritomb still, this is technically a positive matchup, but I was so low on health already. Going to the next battle, send out Hitmonchan again, Alolan Raichu, Deja Vu. Now I'm going to switch into Spiritomb this time. I made the correct switch. He's going to get this Wild Charge off, and luckily I blocked that. He sends out Alolan Raticate. Now, like I mentioned, if I get this boost, I will be able to kind of go toe-to-toe with this Alolan Raticate. But if I don't get this Ominous Wind boost, it's curtains for my Spiritomb. So see how it plays out. It seems like he's just building up energy because he knows he can kind of farm my Spiritomb. Just building that energy up, get this crunch off, and pretty much knock out my Spiritomb. I get one more Ominous Wind off, and the bonus does not trigger. So at this point, I go ahead and switch to my Hitmonchan he goes ahead and uses Crunch. I should not have blocked that, but it's okay. He sends out Toxic Croak. I go ahead and use Power Up Punch, but in reality I probably should have just used Thunder Punch. Let's see if I get this Thunder Punch off. And he blocks that one. So just unfortunate for me that I chose Power Up Punch then Thunder Punch and not Thunder Punch then Power Up Punch. But anyways, I send out Xatu. He's gonna get this Sludge Bomb off on me. I have no more shields, so that was the correct move. I knock it out. He sends out Alolan Raichu and knocks out my Xatu. I have Spiritomb, but I was already so low on health. Just a couple more fast moves knocks me out. Alright, next battle. Yeah, we had a few battles the other day, and so we just sat down and just messed with lineups and stuff. Neither of us have really practiced too much in this cup because we both have the same regionals, but I send out Lillimuck, he sent out Xatu. That was a positive matchup for me, so he sends out Toxic Croak. Now, I'm running Bite on my Muck right now just because I wanted to see how Bite works in this cup, and it's kind of puts things in an interesting spot because there's not too many dark fast moves. I mean, there's Sucker Punch, there's Spiritomb with dark fast moves, and you have Umbreon with dark fast moves, and those are the things that will knock out the Psychics very fast. Other than that, there's not too many moves that will knock out the Psychics or deal super effective damage to the Psychics in terms of fast moves. But we have this Xatu Mirror Match. Omnis Wind will knock out the Psychics, so but again, that's not a fast move, so he's gonna get that Omnis Wind on me and he gets the boost, but luckily he has like no health left. I get one more shot on him, but this Confusion user is gonna deal massive damage to me, this Bronzong. I get that Mud Bomb off, but not enough. Bronzong knocks me out with Confusion. Alright, into the next battle. I lead off with Drapion against his Drapion, mirror match. So pretty much, I believe what we're trying to do is just spam Aqua Tails, just knock each other out. I have Charge Move priority, it looks like, or he's just charging up that energy and he's probably gonna duck. What Hero Venge likes to say, duck. He charges up energy and ducks. Now he ducks into his Toxic Croak, which is a positive matchup. I go ahead and switch into Hypno. This Hypno is good. Dominate this Toxic Croak very easily. So I have some energy built up. I also have the shield advantage. He sends out Drapion. I go ahead and use this Shadow Ball. And he's gonna block it. That would have knocked him out, so that's probably a good move on his part, but he has no more shields. I have 2 shields. I go ahead and send out my own Drapion. I have 2 shields, so I go ahead and use one just because I didn't want my Drapion to faint. Get this Aqua Tail off, knock out his Drapion. I still have 1 shield, a Alolan Raticate, and I have 1 shield, he has no shields. See how this ends up. I get another Aqua Tail off. I think he's charging up energy for my last Pokemon, possibly. He knocks it out. He's gonna use a charge move right around here, I think. Nope, not yet. Right here. And luckily I have a shield and I have a full health Alolan Muck. And these Bites, it's gonna be close. Bite's not dealing very effective damage to Alolan Raticate. And if I can get to this Dark Pulse, yes I do. I think I knock out his Alolan Raticate right here. Yep. GG. And to the next battle. I test out my Metagross. My Metagross versus his Xatu. So Xatu's gonna be dealing not very effective damage because Metagross is Steel. I have Meteor Mash. I did not add the second move because I don't have Stardust. But pretty much he sends out Toxic Croak. He's gonna get this Mud Bomb off. I'm not going to shield. I'm running a Mud Shot Poliwrath, and I get this Ice Punch off and deal pretty good damage to it. I'm going to shield this up because I think I can knock him out with fast moves, and I'm going to have a charge move for the next Pokemon, so at least I can deal some kind of damage to it. Let's see what it is. I'm going to get this Ice Punch off, and this is good. He's going to have to shield. Yep, he shields and knocks out my Poliwrath. So I believe I go ahead and send out my Metagross. So this is the initial matchup. He's going to get a charge move off. It's probably going to be Ominous Wind, which it is. And I'm going to get this Meteor Mash off and deal pretty good damage to Xatu. Xatu's already kind of squishy, and Meteor Mash does pretty good damage as well. I'm not going to get to that Meteor Mash, unfortunately, which would have done pretty good damage, but I do have this Skuntank, and I should be able to get a Crunch off. And if I do get this Crunch off, oh no, Raichu charges so fast, and Skuntank falls before I could get that Crunch off. If I got that Crunch off, I would have won that battle. But GG. They're always GG's, always good games, no matter what. But anyways, Xatu versus Bronzong. This is a pretty good matchup for me, I think, because I deal super effective damage with my Ominous Wind. He switches out to Alolan Raticate, and unfortunately I do waste that Ominous Wind, but I do have a Poliwrath, so this Power Up Punch is going to be dealing super effective damage to Alolan Raticate. And you saw what it did. He decided not to block because it is a losing matchup for him, but he will deal a good amount of damage with that Hyper Fang. And I get another Power Up Punch off right here and knock out his Alolan Raticate. Oh, nope, didn't knock him out, but close. And I think what I was trying to do was farm some energy because I know he just used a charge move. And he sends out Bronzong, and I go ahead and use Ice Punch, which was, I'm not sure if that was a stupid move or a smart move, but Power Up Punch would have done neutral damage, so that probably would have been better. But he goes ahead and uses Heavy Slam on my Slowbro, which is not very effective damage because Steel does not very effective damage to water types. So I go ahead and use this Water Pulse, but he has 2 shields, so he's gonna block this. And confusion back and forth, and at this point I'm trying to get Ice Beam off, but if I had used Ice Beam first, that probably would have been a better move, but it's okay. Gets out that Heavy Slam, I block that. I have 2 shields as well, and he gets off another Heavy Slam. So unfortunately for me, I burned 2 shields against this Bronzong, which had very little health left, and I used that charge move, but I don't know what happened. It didn't do that much damage, but he has a Toxicroak. So let's see if I can knock out this Toxicroak with less than half my health left. Go ahead and burn 1 shield. Sludge Bomb, no good. So not taking that extra Heavy Slam from that Bronzong really hurt me that battle. Alright, for the last battle of the night, I start off with Spiritomb against his Alolan Muck. So I'm gonna go ahead and try. I don't want to switch if I don't have to. And if I trigger this Ominous Wind, I get a big boost and I just switch up the whole game. It didn't trigger. He gets a charge move off, Dark Pulse. Look at how much damage that does. Keep that in mind. Almost half of my health. I get Shadow Ball off because if I get Ominous Wind, it won't really help much anyways, because I have such little health. He's pretty close to dead, and I died. Obviously, my Pokemon fainted, and so I have 2 fighting types. He's gonna get Dark Pulse off, or Sludge Wave off. Not very effective damage, but that does a lot of damage. You saw like maybe 70% of my health. He has a Xatu, and I already know this is a losing battle, mainly because I have 2 fighting types. So 2 fighting types against a flying psychic type. Yeah, that's not a good recipe for success, right? It's a recipe for disaster. And I get this Thunder Punch off, but he's gonna block it. He has another shield on top of this. His Air Slashes are dealing super effective damage to me. I'm gonna go ahead and block this, but I already know that this this is done. He sends out his other Pokemon, a Toxicroak, just to kind of rub in my face, but yeah, those are GG's. Thank you, Zayzilla. That's pretty much it, guys. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, if you guys enjoy listening to my commentary, make sure you push that like button, make sure you subscribe, and oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I am accepting new friends to add to my friends list. If you are looking for someone that is consistently sending gifts and battles a ton, I do a ton of practice battles. The videos that I post up aren't the only practice battles I do. I do practice battles every day. For right now, I'm mainly focused on regionals, but once that's done, I'm going to be doing practice battles on Nightmare Cup every day, pretty much. Trying to get better and trying to learn new techniques and learn what the best lineups are. So if that interests you, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, hit me up on Twitter, and I'll pick about 10 people to add to my friends list. How I'm gonna pick that, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do like a random drawing, maybe I'll do first come first serve. I haven't really decided yet, but if you're interested, make sure you do one of those two things. And that's it, guys. Till next time, this is Best in West. I'll catch you guys later.